person who hacked Gypsy's account doesn't appear to be from the United States, or at least they're speaking in a different language. Apparently, Gypsy fell for one of those email scams where you get an email stating that you can get verified and get the blue check mark, and then you click the link that they sent you, and then they have control over your account.
All right, babes, buckle up because the Gypsy Rowe and Ken Aka saga is serving us drama, scandal, and a whole lot of tea. Let's get into it. First, let's talk about Ken. It's no secret he's been moving differently lately, literally. Reports confirm he's relocated back to Texas, putting physical distance between himself and Gypsy's chaos. But that hasn't stopped her from keeping his name in her stories. His absence during major events like the TikTok hacking scandal speaks louder than words. And if you think his silence is coincidental, think again. It's part of a pattern that's been brewing for months. Even more revealing is the shade coming from Ken's family, especially his mom, Miss Rena. She's not holding back, calling Gypsy manipulative and toxic. Miss Rena's been vocal about her concerns, warning that Gypsy's antics could have long-term consequences for Ken's mental health and future.
Gypsy posted this, but where's Ken's legs? Also posted this, and I want you guys to look very carefully around Gypsy Rose's hair, like above the top of it. I don't know, something looks odd. But I was like, this is possible because...
This criticism isn't new either. It's been simmering for a while. Ken's big move wasn't just about geography, it was a deliberate choice to reclaim stability and peace. Sources close to him say it was his way of distancing himself from the nonstop drama Gypsy seems to attract. Let's not forget the timeline, babes. Ken's absence during key moments like the holiday season and the hacking scandal isn't random. While Gypsy was working overtime to maintain a narrative involving him, Ken's silence was telling its own story. A story of someone ready to move on. Every step he's taken suggests he's cutting ties and leaving the chaos behind. But Gypsy? Oh, she's not letting go without a fight. She's been weaving Ken into her stories in a way that feels calculated.
She allegedly left Lake Charles on Christmas Eve. Now, the source that I got this from isn't a source that I have used before, but a lot of the things that they said to me gave merit. But again,
during the TikTok hacking scandal, for instance, she claimed his car was vandalized and Christmas gifts were stolen while he was at a casino. Sounds wild, right? On the surface, it seems like a chaotic coincidence. But when you step back, it becomes clear it's all part of her strategy. Gypsy's repeated mentions of Ken keep him in the narrative, creating the illusion of a connected, supportive partner, even though the reality is anything but. Why would she do this? It's about appearances. By involving Ken in her drama, she props up a narrative of solidarity and sympathy, distracting from her own actions. But here's the thing. Ken hasn't corroborated any of her claims. His silence and physical absence make it clear that Gypsy is the only one keeping this story alive. And let's get into those leaked messages, because babe, that's where the cracks in her narrative really start to show. One juicy moment comes from messages between Gypsy and Ryan Anderson. In one exchange, she allegedly proposed meeting at a coffee shop to resolve matters. On the surface, it might seem like an innocent attempt to clear the air, but the timing? Messy. These chats happened while Gypsy was publicly claiming she and Ken were solid.
That's why I was very specific in saying it was alleged. But then someone messaged me this. Actually, not someone messaged me. One of my mods sent me this. And I feel like this says a lot that she was with Ryan.
Then there's the December 18th DM, where Gypsy reportedly mocked Ken's appearance, throwing sarcastic shade about men who lie and cheat going bald. Yikes. This isn't just disrespectful, it hints at deep-rooted tension in their relationship long before the TikTok hacking drama. And, babes, it gets juicier. In other leaked messages, Gypsy appears to acknowledge lingering feelings for Ryan, reminiscing about their past. This completely clashes with her public persona as a committed, stable partner. Gypsy's private words and public actions are worlds apart. Her sarcastic remarks about Ken and her unresolved emotions for Ryan expose the truth. Her narrative of being in a happy, stable relationship with Ken is pure fiction. Every move she makes seems more like an attempt to deflect blame and craft a story that paints her as the victim, all while avoiding accountability for her own actions.
They made a post to Gypsy's TikTok stories saying that the account was for sale for $500 and that you could pay via PayPal or crypto. Now, this is a message that is allegedly Gypsy sending a message to this hacker where she says, "I will be calling TikTok and getting my account back." They reply, "Hi, if you pay money, I will give your account. Please, ? Hey." Gypsy replies, "There are better ways than this."
Even the faked photos she shared during the holidays tell a story of their own. Remember those festive pics of Gypsy and Ken? At first glance, they seemed harmless, but the details didn't add up. Ken's legs mysteriously absent, shadows not aligning, and weird distortions in the background all screamed Photoshop. To make it worse, Ken was reportedly in Texas at the time. If he wasn't even there, these photos were more than misleading. They were part of a carefully crafted illusion to make it look like everything was fine. What about her so-called hacker drama? The claims that Ken was trying to negotiate with the hacker by offering $200 to $500 seem sketchy at best. If Ken was really involved, wouldn't there be some kind of confirmation from his side? His silence on this, just like everything else, speaks volumes. It feels like Gypsy is using his name to lend credibility to her chaos, but without his input, the whole story falls flat.
The person says, "I promise you, I will give account." Gypsy says, "How did you hack the account? Was it the verification email for the blue badge?" They reply, "Yes." "Can you give me $400 PayPal?" Gypsy replies, "Honestly, you can keep it. I was just gonna delete it in a few months anyways. If I can get it back, it would..."
Now, let's add another layer to this saga. Gypsy's public persona versus her private reality. She's out here portraying herself as a committed, loving partner while simultaneously throwing shade at Ken and reminiscing about her ex. It's like she's trying to play every role in the drama: victim, hero, and puppet master, all at once. But as the evidence piles up, it's becoming clear that the cracks in her story are too big to ignore. The truth is, Gypsy is holding on to Ken not because they're still connected, but because his name gives her narrative weight. By keeping him in her stories, she creates the illusion of a supportive partner, deflects blame, and garners sympathy. But Ken's silence and actions tell a different story. A story of someone who's done, moving on, and refusing to be dragged back into the chaos. Gypsy's attempts to keep Ken in her story, whether through faked photos, leaked messages, or mentions of vandalism, feel more like performances than reflections of reality.
Be great. If not, whatever. They say, "You don't have $400? Gypsy replies, "I'm an expecting mother who is 9 months pregnant. Everything I have is budgeted towards my child and bills. Contrary to popular belief, I'm not a millionaire. I'm sorry, but I won't give you the money." And then, like I said, the person who has control over her account.
Ken's actions, or lack thereof, paint a very different picture. His move to Texas and his refusal to engage publicly make it clear he's done. This isn't just a case of needing space. It's a definitive break from a relationship that was spiraling out of control. So, what's the takeaway? From the leaked messages to the faked photos, everything points to one conclusion. Gypsy Rowe and Ken Aka are no longer together, but instead of letting the breakup end quietly, Gypsy is clinging to Ken's name to prop up her narrative, using him as a shield to deflect attention from her own drama. The cracks in her story are showing, and it's only a matter of time before the whole thing unravels. Let us know your thoughts and stay tuned for more Tea Babes, because this saga is far from over.